Hello everybody. This is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Today we are going to make an arrangement off of our website. It's called Lavender Dreams, and this is an upgraded arrangement. It's a $100 arrangement, and so it's in mostly lavenders, a little bit of green, a touch of pink, but just a real soft palette of color. I'm starting out with a square vase that I have filled with fresh water and a touch of flower food. We're going to add some leather leaf foliage to my vase. So I'm just taking each stem, cutting that stem at an angle, and just tucking that right into the vase. I like to use leather leaf as the base of our arrangement. It's inexpensive and it just makes a good grid. So I like to use the leather. I'm pulling off some of the bottom leaves, and it's just strictly because they don't look great or they might fall below the water line. So I just go ahead and pull those off. Now there is our leather leaf, just kind of all the way around. Next, I'm going to come in with some myrtle. So we got this in this week. We don't always carry myrtle, but I think we should. My sister Robbie definitely thinks we should always carry myrtle. So I'm going to take it. I really like the fact that myrtle is kind of long and it's showy, and it makes a really good line in the arrangement. It kind of fills in and gives us some height in an arrangement. You can see I'm trying to remove any of the leaves that might fall below the water line. All right, so there is our myrtle. You can see it kind of gives us some height. And then lastly, with our greens, I'm going to add just a touch of Parvifolia eucalyptus. It just gives us kind of a whimsy. And I'm stripping those bottom leaves off and tucking that right down into that vase. All right, so there is our greens in our arrangement. Okay, next we're going to come in with some line flower. And I think I have some bells of Ireland to start out with. Some pretty green bells of Ireland. So I'm going to take this bell and I'm going to pinch the leaves out of the tip. Now, I like to pinch the leaves out just because it kind of cleans the flower up. Take your floral knife, cut that stem at an angle, and tuck that right down into that water. So I start with my center bloom first, and then I kind of taper down. I'm going to pull the bottom blooms off of that stem, and you just kind of taper down with your next couple of blooms. Now, when using a line flower like this, I like to use at least 3. And the reason is, if you only use 2, it almost looks like the antenna from a bug. So always make sure that it doesn't look like a bug, okay? Anytime you're working with flowers, or line flower in particular. Next, I'm going to come in with some Solidago aster. So Solidago is not the only filler flower in the aster family. There's Monte Cassino aster and Solidago aster, Matsumoto aster. Solidago is my favorite. I find that it's hardiest, and I'm a yellow girl, so I love the fact that it's yellow. But there are other really pretty asters, so if you ever get the chance to use different types of aster, be sure to try it. Next, we're going to come in with a couple of mini green hydrangeas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove most of the leaves off of the hydrangea. I'm going to leave a couple, but I'm removing most of the large leaves, and I do have a little dish of Quick Dip. Now, Quick Dip is a hydrating solution that helps to keep my hydrangeas hydrated, which is so important. So I take that stem, I cut it at an angle, and I dip it into my Quick Dip. And I usually count to about 7, and then I tuck it right into my vase. All right, there's my 2 mini green hydrangeas tucked in. Next, we're going to use some stock. So we have some pretty lavender colored stock, really pretty. Now, stock comes in tons of colors, and I use it a lot. It comes in pinks, and it comes in whites, and it comes in a deep, beautiful, deep purple. But this is that really pretty lavender. Kind of a butter color, kind of a, they call it lemon, but it's really butter. It is very soft yellow. Okay, there is our lavender stock. And stock smells so pretty. So if you ever get the opportunity to use stock, it really smells lovely. Next, we're going to come in with some beautiful purple colored roses. I'm going to take a couple stems of florist wire, and I'm going to cut those in half. So I'm using about 1/4 of a stem of florist wire. I like 21 gauge wire. I'm going to take that wire and I'm going to press it right into the calyx of the rose. I don't know if you can see that. And then I'm just wrapping it right around the stem. Now, the reason I like about 1/4 of a stem is it doesn't get in the way of where I need to cut the flower, okay? A lot of times if you leave it too long, your knife certainly can't cut through that metal wire. So a little short piece is plenty, and it's really meant to help hold that little head up. Sometimes your flowers will get dehydrated and those little heads want to dip. So that's the reason I like to wire a rose. You can pull off any of those guard petals or any petals that don't look beautiful. Pull those off. It's not going to hurt your flower at all. All right, so I have 4 stems of roses. So I'm going to take my floral knife. I'm going to start low. And then I'm going to just kind of stair step up. Look at those pretty lavender roses. So this arrangement is called the Lavender Dreams on our website. I might have mentioned that already. But it's a pretty popular arrangement. We sell lots of them. Usually not in the $100 range. We sell all the sizes, but we do sell them really often. Next, we will come in with some mums, some chrysanthemums. So we got these pretty white mums, but they have that pretty kiss of green in that center, which I really like. So this is called a disbud. It is a single flower, and a lot of times, I don't know if you've ever grown mums before, but a lot of times, all the time, they have to pinch back those blooms or those buds so that it'll put off one pretty bloom. So we really like to use the disbuds in our arrangements. I like chrysanthemums overall. Very long lasting, and a lot of times they will look like a dahlia. Just a really pretty flower. Okay, there's our mums. Next, we will come in with our Asiatic lilies. These are just a soft pink Asiatic lily. Now, Asiatic lilies are the lilies that do not have fragrance. So, you will see me use lilies fairly often in my arrangements. Most of the time, you're going to see me use an oriental lily. And it is just strictly because it's just a larger, more fragrant flower. It's a fragrant flower. And it's a larger bloom. Okay, so there's our pretty pink lilies. And to finish this arrangement, we're going to use Scabiosa flowers. Now, I think Scabiosa is beautiful. And we actually had a kitty cat here at our flower shop who has passed away recently. And his name was Osa, and he was named for the Scabiosa flower. Now, Scabiosa, look how long that stem is. It comes in several colors, pinks and whites and purples. And it's really so pretty. And if you've ever seen the Scabiosa pod, they are so much fun to work with. Now these come with a little straw on them to help keep those little heads up. I don't leave the straws on just because they kind of slide down and I don't love that. So I just pulled the straws right off of that flower. All right, so all of our flowers are in place. We have Bells of Ireland, green mini hydrangeas. We have stock Scabiosa lilies, roses, and mums, and then for our filler flower, Solidago. So to finish this arrangement, the picture that we have has a bow. So we are going to add some ribbon, and I'm just going to do a pretty simple loopy bow. It's not going to have tons of loops, probably 5 loops, 3 on one side and 2 on the other. I'm going to leave my tails with a touch of length. Grab a pair of scissors. I'm going to use a half a piece of florist wire. We always cut our wire. I find you're less wasteful if you'll cut it in half or cut it into a fourth. It does exactly what it needs to do. It does its job at those lengths, and you're not wasting so much. We found when we used it in a solid piece that we did a lot of wasting because we would cut it and throw it away. And so we always cut our wire in half. I just took that wire that I tied the bow with and I just put it on a stem that was over here in my trash bin. I'm going to take it, I'm going to trim up my stem because I don't need it quite that long. I'm going to very carefully tuck that bow right up underneath those lilies. You have to be careful with a lily. A lily is very delicate and it'll bruise pretty easily. But there is our finished $100 Lavender Dreams arrangement. Guys, thank you so much for being here today. If you have any questions about how we do things, you can always ask. Drop it right here in the comments. Send us a message. We're so happy to answer your questions. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, guys. And be sure to hit that subscribe button right down below so that you will get new notifications for when we have videos. Guys, have a great day. We'll see you soon.